Hey guys, how you doing? I'm sitting here enjoying a beautiful cool breeze. It's been a hot last few days. I just thought I'd give a bit of an update of what I've been up to. I haven't put anything up this week simply because I've been away. I was planning on getting a cycling vlog edited and done before I left, but I had the opportunity to get away, so got to take it when you can. So what I've done this time is I have retraced some old steps that I did probably 18 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, on my trip from Kilkevin down to Brisbane via the South Burnett Rail Trail and the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail. When I did it last time, the Kilkevin end of the trail wasn't open, so I couldn't do the whole Kilkevin to Kingaroy Rail Trail as it stands. This time I did, and I'm glad I did. It's a good ride. It's not all that easy. It's a slight 2% grade basically all the way to Wandai. You have a bit of a downhill run into Mergen, and then you climb to Wandai slightly, and then after Wandai, I think it's Warulwan is the next town. Then you start to get some good downhill slopes, but it's pretty much a gradual uphill climb all the way to Kingaroy. And then of course I cut across, like I did last time, there's a connection route that they've mapped through some state forestry roads and some back roads, so I did that. I'm at Yarraman tonight, camped at Yarraman Weir. Beautiful spot. I'll just show you behind me. This is the old pumping site for Queensland's first pulp mill. And in the background is, where is it? Just above my finger is the remnants of the old steam engine that pumped the water into the mill. There you go. I am just a wealth of information, aren't I? And of course it's on the sign over there that I just read. But anyway, tomorrow morning I'm off to hit the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail again, and of course I'll head down through the same way I did. I plan on making it to Harlan tomorrow. There's a free camp there. It's about 55-ish k's from where I'm camped. And then it's about 35, a bit over 35 k's to Esk, where I'll stay in the caravan park there. And then there's a free camp just on the north side of Fernvale, which I'll camp the following night. And then into Walkaracka and catch the train. So that's the plan. I'm not on the Kona this time. As you all know, I bought a new Cube Attention SL, and I've been loving it. It's been a great bike, and especially since I've fiddled with it and put some new hand grips and a new saddle. Well, old, but replaced the hand grips and the saddle that were on it. So I'm bikepacking. I like to look around what I've got at home that I can use, and so I'm using dry bags, a small soft esky, and I bought a cheap $15 seat post mounted rack from a department store in town for $15, and that's my setup. So the whole lot. Oh, and I made a frame bag out of an old 7-litre soft cooler, and so I went to the hardware store and bought some Velcro strapping and used some 30-pound fishing braid, sewed on some Velcro straps, and I'll just show it to you if it's just here. And that's my cheap and nasty frame bag, but it works, and that's all got my packet food and that in there at the moment. Yeah, so, and that's the other thing that packs down That's the soft cooler, packs down. That just sits on top of a dry bag with my clothes and stuff like that in it. Let's just do a round while the bike's empty. Well, first up, I used to attempt to do a little bit of road racing, and we used to starting to get into time trials, and I was given some tri extension bars. Now, of course, I've got one dry bag that I mount on here, and that's got my tent, my sleeping mat, a small tarp that goes under the tent, and my pillows and all that sort of stuff, and I think it's got my toiletries in it. And so that mounts on top of that, so it sits on top of that, and I'm not squashing it against the cables. I've got plenty of room out, and yeah, so what I've got here, these are the old elbow pad mounts for the back of the tri-bar, and I don't even know how we ended up with these. These are just cheap coolers. They're a drink holder, and they've got a belt clip on them from Bunnings. And so what I did was I drilled some holes through the belt clip, and I've mounted used the screws that were held the elbow pad mounts on, and that's held. And so I've got some carry little things here. Got a camera in it and stubby cooler in there, just in case I find a beer on the way. And of course, I've got the crusty old top tube bag that I use on a regular basis. I have down here just bought some cheap bidden cages, and using stainless steel hose clamp around the fork, and of course packing in behind the fork so I don't scratch the living daylights out of the fork. And they fit a 1.5 litre bottle, and I've just got my favourite little rubber bungee toggles, and that just sits around the neck and stops the neck with the bottle from bouncing as much. So that's the front, and now of course the frame bag sits neatly in here, of course, and that gives me room to put my little saddle bag in there. Now at the back, this is the cheap rack that I was talking about, and I've just mounted with some zip ties my tail light on there just in case I need it, but I haven't been on any roads that are dark. So yeah, it just mounts on the neck. It's not something that I probably use all the time. It's only good for 9 kilos, so you've really got to be careful about your weight. I just don't want to bend the living daylights out of my seat post. But it's been good. It's pretty solid. It doesn't really move. It did turn sideways once. I tripped and the bike went over, and of course, but yeah, so what I do is I have a 20 litre dry bag that sits here, and it actually snugs in under my seat. And that other blue cooler, that's got all my easy stuff, cookware, that's got my pots, I keep my lunches in that, and canned food. So there's probably a couple of kilos in that, not a lot of weight in it. And so it's easy to get to if I want to stop on the side of the road and have some lunch and make a cuppa. And as you can see, I've already had one. I'm about to have dinner, so we're going to have salmon and Alfredo pasta tonight. So anyway, that's the quick squiz at the budget bike packing setup. I think the whole lot cost me with because I had the dry bags, I had the cooler, I had the other cooler, so with the Velcro and the rack, I think it's all up, and the bottle cages and hose clamps all up cost me around $30 to get set up. And so far I've done a couple of 100 Ks on it, or trail. The South Burnett rail trail is sealed, but basically the way I came today is a lot of forestry roads and quite rough, and the Kilkeven to Mergen end of the KKRT is very rough in patches. So it's held up. So there you go. You don't have to spend a lot of money, guys. You just have to think outside the box and see what you've got around home at first. Well, that's it, guys. Hope you like that one. I'm taking lots of footage, and I'll get a new video up when I get home, probably the middle of next week, sometime-ish. I'm going to call into Brisbane and catch up with some friends in there, and they've offered me a bed and a cold beer, and I can't turn that down. So, cheers. Till next time. Ride safe out there, eh?